Hello everybody, welcome. We are getting everything ready here today. Right. Getting in the game lobby right now. We're gonna kind of go over a quick rundown of the patch notes that kind of went live here. When was that? Well, I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. I am Bucci Boy 989. Everybody just refers to me as Bucci. And with me is Skippy is for you. Gotta love that peanut butter.
That's right.
Right. So, starting off real quick, about me. I am a support main. I get carried. I'm a professional carrier. Professional of getting carried. Skippy is my one-on-one duo. Carries me through life and happiness.
In some context, we are brothers. We duo a lot. We're both mid-flat level players. I'm mid or support usually, and he is support or AD carry usually.
I usually just flop around the lane until we get something working, till mid game when I actually become effective. So we are going to do a quick rundown of patch notes while we're trying to get everybody together. So once we kind of throw that on screen,
music is too loud. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if you it's hold on a sec. Oh yeah, looks like it's working. Cool. Cool, better now. Good to go.
Awesome.
Sorry to interrupt.
Cool beans. So once we get those patch notes on screen, we can kind of go through. If you can.
That's right. You could just read down and give a TLDR
biggie.
so you don't
So
have to.
TLDR, really, we're looking at, Aatrox got a little nerfed here. Thank God, I am sick and tired of the Aatrox meta. I don't know about you guys and how much pro play you watch, but he has been ever present and his healing in lane has been just obnoxious. So that is now going to be reduced against minions, and Q damage to minions kind of reduced and flattened. So we kind of have an overall reduction in his staying power. So now poke champions, kind of like Jace or Gnar, will start to be a little more effective in.
Thank God, he was extremely oppressive. Even I saw him a lot of times in mid lane, and he is not fun to lane.
Yeah, it's just the overall stay power. Him and Akali, thankfully they kind of got hit with the bat pretty hard this patch, because Akali too, same thing. Once you get a few points into your Q, maybe a little bit of lifesteal or finish your Gunblade, there's just no kicking you out of lane. So the Akali, big nerf, which might actually kind of have a little bit of an impact on this game. The R cooldown is increased, and the first part of that is no longer stun. So the big thing with the Akali kit, when you use it the first time, you used to have a stun, and then you couldn't cast it for another 2.5 seconds or so. So that stun was kind of important for setting up the shroud, kind of playing through in the middle of a team fight. So now that kind of is gone, you'll actually have some kind of trade potential to her. If you're playing somebody like Malzahar, you can just insta-lock her down while she's trying to force that engage. Leona is going to be really good as well with the AoE CC. So, we got some people in the lobby here. That's good news. So yeah, the Akali is definitely going to be an improvement, at least for lane, for some other people. So Annie, this was actually one that I was a little excited. We saw her. I think it was last week or yesterday. We actually saw an Annie. Actually, no, I'm sorry. It was the team sup main most recent game. We saw an Annie mid.
Was that pre-patch or post-patch?
That was pre-patch, where she actually took Predator and landed a lot of really good like AoE stuns on the team. So that's really cool. Her E, so her shield, which just used to reduce damage and that she took and deal damage back, kind of like a little Thorns aura, now gives her a little bit of decaying movement speed buff. So you're going to be a little less forced into taking Predator. You should be able to set up, those really easy execute with that rune. Instead, get you a little more maybe lane pressure, a little more kill potential. If you're feeling a little risky, you can probably go for, something. You can still go for the Predator if you want to force the engages. So that'll be cool. She gets a little bit of a damage reduction decrease, and a cooldown increase to kind of trade off that power. We're just waiting for the last two people to get in here. So kind of going down. Aurelian Soul base health increase. Not too much going on there. Caitlyn base AD increased by a whopping 2, which will, it'll make last hitting minions much easier on that champion. Plus a little bit of extra trade potential with her passive. So that's
to interrupt once more. This is the patch that Worlds will be played on, correct?
I believe this is the one right before.
Okay, so they're still going to make some additional.
Yeah,
changes.
so there is one more patch before Worlds. So this is right before Worlds, which is good because we're seeing a lot of like the power changes. To touch on one a little bit down the road, a little down the list, we got Lee Sin buffs.
Risinga.
So I know Shy Rush will be very happy about that one. Playing the good old Lee Sin top. One thing I'm excited, which we probably should see in this game, is Echo W stun duration is increased. So that, is now 2.25 seconds if you get caught in that. And I know that Demonic, has about a 59% win ratio on him.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see after, about 17 games played. So that's pretty impressive before he even got buffed. So we should see that. We might also start seeing a little Evelyn in the jungle. So, kind of get those pink wards ready for before she hits 6.
Yeah, and just a reminder for the viewers that they are using some subs in these games on both sides. So 3 bans are being lost by one of the teams, and 2 bans are being lost by the other team.
So Happy Campers will lose.
Correct.
We'll lose 3 bans in that first round.
Yes.
Of bans, and then
Washed Up One Trick loses 2.
Yep, and this will be for both games. So that this first round of a
lot of priority picks for a lot of these guys.
Either a lot of comfort or just a lot of really strong snowballing champs. So once we get in there, I'm going to be excited to see that.
Yep. As far as priority picks, for Wash Up One Tricks, I imagine we're probably going to be seeing a Rumble here. Picked first, he plays a lot of Rumble in every season that we have data for.
Yes.
We might see an Ezreal here. We might see a Karthus, and maybe a Yuumi. But as far as priority picks for Washed Up One Tricks, I think that's what we're going to be seeing on that team.
Now, what do you think about bans? Like, who would be for you're playing Washed Up on red side? You get 1 ban.
Yes.
On the first side, what would you probably prioritize? Because I might even look to ban the Twisted Fate from Demonic just to kind of cut that map pressure down.
Personally, I would leave the Twisted Fate open and kind of deal with it because he's still kind of weak. You can kind of you can pressure him on the lane and push him out and keep him at the turret so he doesn't get that map pressure. I would absolutely prioritize something like a comfort jungler pick like Vi or something. He has a fantastic win rate. Toxic Jungler has a fantastic win rate on Vi, and a very high KDA. I think I would go after that a little bit more. Just a personal opinion of mine as well.
And Vi, I don't really strike as, aside from maybe doing a pretty well-timed level 2 gank. If you pick a jungler into Vi, something that could trade or even just something that outclasses her entirely, like Sejuani, you can probably just limit, cut your losses in the jungle, maybe save yourself a ban there. If you can actually beat them when they're on a comfort pick, that can go do a lot going into game 2.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's talk about Happy Campers a little bit.
Yeah. I'm interested to see the top lane
sorry,
sub
that was
trillionaire.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, the top lane sub trillionaire is a little bit of a wild card to see, kind of what they pick for him, or what maybe he feels comfortable on in the top lane. Just
sorry to interrupt you once more. Washed Up One Trick, I would absolutely ban that Rumble. if I had the opportunity to do so.
If you
I was
had-
looking at the wrong sheet. I apologize. I would absolutely ban the Rumble if I had the
Yeah.
opportunity to do so. But since they
If they
lost all the
let it-
bans in the first rounds, I think it's
Yeah.
just going to go right through.
We'll see what what Washed Up kind of prioritizes from that side. I might even prioritize getting that top lane, ban a counter to Rumble and
Yep.
get immediately pick that, assuming that the Happy Campers don't first pick it just to take it away. Because like I said, Trillionaire top lane sub is a little bit of a wild card. Just looking through his kind of season 9, season 8, he does not play a lot of top laners aside from maybe a Kennen. He does play a lot of Nidalee and Lee Sin. Maybe they bring a little bit of cheese factor by bringing a Lee Sin top, which would be really funny to see. So but
I'm really
from that
excited to
point-
see this top lane matchup, though.
yeah,
You have your highest ranked players on both teams in the top lane. It's going to be a fun one.
yeah, and from a Happy Camper standpoint, getting your jungler on a priority pick like Vi, or if Vi or Sedge, both of the junglers, kind of play a little bit of Sejuani. Maybe get them just, if they play a little bit Elise for that early pressure, can really take control of the early game. Do a really nice gank with if you get someone top lane who can really set Elise up. I mean, that's going to be a few seconds of just CC there, where you force a flash, you force a TP back if you get the kill.
Yep.
So that can really have an impact. So we're just going through the bans here. Got to go through the 3 blue blank bans. So a lot of excitement happening here. But one thing that I'm going to be interested in seeing is bot lane. Both of these supports play Yuumi.
Yeah.
So
I have a feeling they're both going to leave that pick open and try and get it.
Ooh, the Nocturne. That is interesting. I wonder what they're gonna bring that into. Usually you only ban Nocturne when he counters what you bring as a team. So like Shen, if you can force a fight as a jungler Nocturne and just pop that ultimate, Shen can't even join the fight. Twisted Fate can't, wouldn't be able to join the fight either if they brought Twisted Fate mid, who Demonic has a 65% win ratio on. So maybe they could have used that as a counter, but we'll see.
That is not what I expected, honestly.
Mm-hmm. So one thing to keep in mind, and I'm sure I'm mispronouncing his name, Rixie. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Rixie is really strong in the ADC role. He has a lot of games with a lot of high highs. Like really 71% win ratio on Lucian after about 14 games.
Yeah.
And a 3.3 KDA. That is really strong on Lucian. So if you pair that with a Braum and you give up the Yuumi, then you can really take control of that lane, because whoever Yumi's playing with is going to be struggling for health early on if you get a good trade. So we'll see here, almost through the bans. One thing to keep in mind, if you don't want this to happen, and maybe give us a little more to talk about, try to get your priority roster to show up, or maybe sandbag a little bit, get some friends who are a little lower in Elo.
Well, I guess to fill the time, did you watch the Splice and Origin games today?
I did not. How'd they go?
You went to Game 5, and Splice took it.
Really?
It was a little disappointing.
Interesting.
I'm an Origin fan, so that's why it's disappointing to me.
It's very disappointing to me. So here we go.
Oh, there we go. There's the cake pick.
There's the strong pick for Noe's Teemo. He does have a 50% win ratio on him. It'll be interesting to see how he ties that together. So Yuumi, and there's the Rumble pick that we talked about.
Yep.
Getting that top laner on that comfort pick. And now in, second round of banning, if they don't pick a top laner to counter that Rumble, then going with the pick, like banning champions that are good in a Rumble. really pressure that lane. Waiting to see this last pick to see how that Morgana kind of ties into the composition.
I think they're looking for the Kate, the Morg
The
Q into
Morgana
the
Kate.
Kate trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're looking for the pick with this team comp.
The Happy Campers had a really good decision there to go with the Scion pick to get something into Rumble that they can kind of contest with, and with Gelati getting his Karthus, that's gonna it's gonna pay dividends there, getting him on at that comfort pick mid lane. So here we go. Now we come out with the bans. If they take Nidalee, if they did a role swap, that is not a wasted ban there. He has a lot of games on Nidalee. Trillionaire does. So it'll be interesting coming through here.
Also, Trillionaire's playing top. I think that is a misban, actually, because Toxic Jungler is the one that plays the Vi and the Sejuani.
And they're really targeting that Trillionaire. So, one thing we kind of discussed prior to the game was, role swapping, how impactful
Yeah, very true.
How impactful is it? When you have a sub like Trillionaire, who's really strong in those champions and you want to get him in the jungle, maybe you need to prioritize him a little earlier in the draft. Unless he has something to bring, just hiding in off to the side here that, he was able to sneak in. But that Karthus, I have never had good experiences going up against a Karthus, especially when you get him into the mid game. If he gets a few good kills, it'll be really strong. And they're just kind of stacking on top.
It's a mid Karthus too. It's not a jungler Karthus.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. He's going to build up faster.
He's going to build up faster. He's going to hit that level 2 and 3 ultimate.
Yep. And there's the Sedge.
So, what I'm looking for here for washed up one tricks, with the Sylas, is we need to pay attention in team fights which ultimates he's stealing. Is he stealing the Scion ultimate to get, to force the engages? Is he stealing the Sejuani ultimate to grab a pick? Or, maybe even just peeling in the middle of a fight. So that's going to be interesting, watching Sylas in the jungle, see how he ramps up. And this is something that they could actually do, like just switch, just do a flex pick with the Sylas. They could flex that mid lane and send Karthus into the jungle, because Karthus jungle has been scary this season. Every game I have against the Karthus, it does not end well for me. And then there's the Jinx pick to kind of round out the composition, backline damage that you're looking to go on top of Karthus. So this is going to be really interesting to watch them go through. You have the Yuumi who can go on top of the Sylas, who's in the middle, trying to force an engage with a Scion ultimate, land the Scion ultimate, the root, and then just let Jinx and Karthus just kind of unload, and then you drop the Rumble ultimate on top of them. So they're not going anywhere, they're not doing anything, and they're dying in the process.
Just a reminder, there's a 3-minute delay while they get into the game and start playing, so we will get in there momentarily.
Yep. But luckily that gives me time to kind of talk about the champions from the Happy Camper side. They have the Kate and the Morgana bot lane who can really kind of take advantage of the Yuumi Jinx. If Jinx gets caught by one root, she's probably going to die. As long as Caitlyn's in range to get the follow-up trap, it's not going to end well for her. So they're going to have to kind of start off a little slow, make sure that Caitlyn and Morgana are not getting a lot of plate gold, make sure they're trying to stay even on CS and not kind of bleeding from giving up kills. Scion in the top lane against Rumble is just going to be a push fest for kind of both of them. Once once Scion finishes that Bammy Cinder, he's going to need to stack the magic resist. But he's going to need the Bammy Cinder to just kind of hold Rumble off the turret. So this is a really magic damage heavy composition that we got from Washed Up. So that Sejuani is just going to have to stack magic resist. Maybe a Locket of the Iron Solari after you finish your jungle item is
and something also to keep in mind, there is not much peel in regards to trying to save the Jinx.
Yep.
They went straight damage, so they're looking to finish this game really quick.
Yep.
If they don't, they're gonna have some issues dealing with these tanks. A lot of picks, a lot of chances to lock people up.
A lot of front end champions with the Scion and the Sejuani. The Sejuani passive giving so much armor and magic resist just up front.
Yeah.
Like that's just going to give time for Caitlyn to maybe get off a few of those passive autos, and then also with the lockdown for Morgana, just giving Xerath time to kind of stack on top of the CC with the stun, maybe get an additional slow, and just landing that burst damage. So that's going to be really, really interesting to see who kind of comes out on top. If the early game pressure from the Happy Campers can kind of overwhelm and stop the Washed Up one tricks from snowballing out of control. Because once that Karthus comes online, you can't fight in Baron Pit because his Defile just takes up the entire pit, and then once he dies, he has the ultimate on top of it. Like it's really scary. Here we go. We're almost through the picks.
Coward. It's just business.
I return to my training.
So I'm wondering what kind of level 1 do you expect these two teams to go? Do you think they're going to play a little passive, or do you think they're going to try, one team might try to get the invade in?
I don't really think they're going to try much in regards to level 1. I think the Morgana is going to go and try and get a Q, but a Dark Binding, but I don't think much is going to happen in regards to that. There's not much room for errors. Yumi's so squishy, like all the champions on
Washed Up
one trick side are really squishy. You probably don't want a chance fighting that level 1.
But if depending on where they come from, depending on how the Happy Campers set up, like if you can get into that bottom tri-bush, because a lot of people kind of leave that open.
Yeah.
If you can get down to that bottom tri-bush early, or if you think that the Happy Campers are going to do just, a goal line defense, maybe try to find a spot where one of them are exposed, one of the weaker, like Morgana early. If you can force her to take either, her Black Shield or just blow her flash, you take a lot of that pressure out. But you have to get into position early for them.
Yeah, you do, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
We'll find out here in a minute.
We will find out here in just a minute. Oh, I'm excited to watch this. Karthus brought exhaust.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really helpful for when
they have 2 exhausts on their team, and there are no exhausts.
And only 1 ignite from the side of the Happy Campers.
Yep.
So this is going to be really interesting. I feel like Karthus might, like the mid lane is going to come down to kind of who gets the push early, because neither side took teleports. So that's going to impact the back timers. You could potentially miss a lot of CS if you just back or die at the wrong time and you don't have that teleport to get back to lane.
I'm interested to see the keystone that Karthus takes as well.
Yeah. You feel like he's going for the overall snowball build where he'll get
the Dark Harvest.
The Dark Harvest, yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm interested to see.
There's really no reason not to, aside from going the mastery, or not the mastery, the ultimate cooldown reduction. When you get a kill on a champion.
Yeah, it could be dangerous if he takes Dark Harvest and tries to push early. Against the Xerath Sedge, that could be really dangerous.
There's a lot of lockdown.
Yes, a lot of lockdown and Karthus is not a very mobile champion.
Mm-hmm. And they could punish top lane the same with Rumble. If Sejuani took Hail of Blades, you can really get that passive in 1 or 2 autos with the Scion behind you. So this early game pathing from the junglers is, I think it's going to kind of dictate the pace of the, most probably the whole game here, because whoever gets the early kill, that lane's going to have the pressure, and they need to be able to apply that.
I think you're going to see a pretty standard early game from both teams. You're going to see a standard clear going for the buffs from both teams. I think the fights are really going to start happening around 6 or 7 minutes into the game. Not 6 or 7. I think 4 or 5 minutes into the game, you're going to see the first gank.
Yeah.
And or first kill coming from the jungle help. So I think it's going to be a pretty standard opening to the game.
What happened? I'm just excited to watch these two teams kind of go at it. I know we've seen a few teams play already, but with this kind of draft, I'm really looking at that bot lane from the side of THC. They have to get that advantage because Caitlyn is not gonna be able to stand up to the power of Jinx Yuumi.
Yeah. One Q, one dark binding into the Yordle trap is going to be death for either one of them.
Yep.
Probably both.
That's anybody on the team.
Yeah.
One Morgana catch. So I really want to see the Morgana roam early. If you get an early back with Caitlyn ahead, just go mid lane from top side because they're not going to be expecting it at all. If you, kind of maintain that vision on that side for the jungler, Sedge can kind of keep a pink ward in Pixel Bush.
Yep.
That's a good route to take. Just Pixel Bush all the way around and then just go from red side and just have your Sejuani kind of hover in vision on bot side so that the Xerath is kind of, or the Karthus is cheating to that side. You can get a really easy kill on that Karthus. One root is all you need. Uh-oh. There we go. It was just computer was loading, that's all. Gotcha.
All right.
Here we go.
Here we go.
So I'm excited.
You got some pings in bot lane, like they're going to be invading from the bot side from the Happy Campers, and Washed Up One Trick looks like they're coming down mid and playing a defensive opening towards the Pixel Brush. Here they go through Tri-Brush. I don't think anything's really going to happen here because Jinx just threw a good ward into the Blue Brush. I think they're going to try and come up and make something happen, but they're going to have vision here. So this might turn out a little badly for them since they have vision.
Yeah, they're going to, they can definitely have this go really well. I mean, if they wanted to, they could just have snuck behind right before that ward that Caitlyn dropped.
There's some good wards placed.
Yeah. They're going to have a lot of information from this. A lot of
info, yep.
Both teams, just really good setup. They're kind of matching each other toe for toe here.
I think they know they're in this brush right here.
An exciting start, just not a lot happening. So a little contradictory, but with all this information.
Oh, they are going to try and take that the blue buff.
And that's
all the Happy Campers going on over here, and there's some traps. There's a more dark binding, and there's first blood.
Wow.
First blood to a Xerath.
I mean, he's low.
Happy Campers still pressing their advantage. They might get a second kill here. They have all 5 members, and Rumble's just pushing top lane with no contest.
Wow. What an early game.
There's a second kill for the Happy Campers who goes to the jungler, as well as a stolen blue buff. And Silas is really low, so I think the Sedge is going to go straight to Silas's red buff as well. Xerath putting some more pressure down in the jungle with some help from Kate. There's the ignite from Yuumi. Great flash over the wall. Still putting pressure on. The exhaust comes out from Yuumi.
Man,
Onto
what
the
a
Kate.
play.
Kate's going to die here.
What an early game.
Oh, that's a great binding.
What a
Great
root.
binding from Morgana. With Kate really low, I think there's a lot of summoners burned here from the supports and junglers on the side of washed up one tricks, and almost all summoners burned on the side of the Happy Campers. If you want to analyze some what to expect and what happened from all that action.
With Xerath getting a kill and assist, he backed. He has 1,200 gold now total. Now 130 in inventory, but he backed. He bought a pink ward and his dark seal, so that's going to start stacking early. So that is really strong for him. Now Silas on the flip side, had a chance to go back. He almost completed his jungle item. He's just a little bit of gold away. Top side, that's. We just randomly had a kill going from Poke. Wow. They are not holding back. We are sitting at 4 kills in 3.5 minutes. Top lane, in that whole little fight that we had, top lane was able to just get a CS lead starting, so that's good for the Rumble.
Something to note is both teams got 2 kills from that, and hey, there's some pressure mid. We just got a solo kill on the Xerath onto the Karthus. And Karthus did not take his Dark Harvest, so I think that's a smart decision based on the pressure that's going to come out onto him. Looks like Xerath's getting tower dove. It was a great dive.
They could punish this. So luckily Rumble was able to get out scot-free. So that's good. What an exchange here. We have, just a slight gold advantage in the top lane. But
Rumble's gonna teleport up and capture both of those waves that are pushing up, so he's not gonna miss a beat. He also has a CS lead before this wave even hits his turret. It was a good shove by Sion, but I don't think there's much that's going to be yielded from that. Not much action going on anymore, so go ahead with the analysis.
We're looking at a 600 gold difference here, most of which is in the top side for the benefit of the washed up one tricks. I completely forgot the name there for a second.
We have some action top lane. Rumble's doing some good damage to the Sion.
Which that's going to be the pressure point that the washed up one tricks are going to need to kind of start to exploit here. They need that Rumble, and what we're going to be looking at in the next few minutes is that red dragon. So the fire dragon is going to be extremely important for getting washed up one tricks, that scaling that they're going to need to get through all the meatballs.
Yep, and Sion has teleport advantage over the Rumble.
So that if they wanted to, Happy Campers could really set up fast dragon. They have the push bot lane, so that's going to really help them set up that early dragon if they want it. And before, they need to do it before the Karthus kind of gets to that breaking point, because he did go back and buy a tier, so that's going to delay his power spike. So that, Happy Campers need to take advantage of that.
Looks like we have some action down bot lane. Morg landed a binding onto the Jinx. The Yuumi jumped on Jinx and gave him a nice little shield.
So
they're just trading over here.
Yeah, looking at this trade, we got an 18 CS lead for the Jinx over the Caitlyn. So Silas right behind.
No vision on the Silas. No vision on the brush. It was a great gank by Silas, but unfortunately just have so much peel with the shield and the Q and the binding from the Morg. Very well played.
Very well played. They were able to take advantage of that vision gap. This Jinx Yuumi lane is doing very well right now into the Morgana Kate, but we'll see.
We have a gank from the Rumble. The Rumble's coming on.
Good roam. One thing I like.
Laid down the equalizer, and Xerath wasn't able to move.
There we are. There's a catch on the Jinx. Yuumi has no mana, but I don't think they're going to overextend for it, so that's good. One thing I love to see from Rumble players is the second they hit 6, just roam mid and ult. just get that pressure, because that is an easy kill every time, especially if Xerath has burned, an early barrier or an early flash. They
And
just
he
have
loses a
really
couple
good
waves of
setup.
minions here too.
Yeah.
And it looks like they're gonna put some pressure. The Happy Campers is gonna put some pressure on the drag. Much needed, I think, because they're falling behind slowly.
It's just
due to the
slowly
pressure
starting.
from the Rumble.
Yeah, Rumble went back, got the Sork shoes, so that'll help him kind of cut through a little bit of that Spectre's cowl.
Yep.
Now, it was a really good buy from the Scion to finish to get the corrupting potion first. That way, he's not dumping a lot of his income into just buying potions every time he backs. I would like to see, maybe a rejuve bead as well, just to kind of help him regen a lot of the poke that he gets from there. So we'll see how it kind of goes, because right now we have a 30 CS lead for Jinx in the bot.
We have another gank mid with the
is.
equalizer from the Rumble. Looks like he's backing away.
He's caught.
Looks like he has no choice. The Rumble's caught. Caught out by the Scion decimating smash.
What a catch.
That was a great catch. Great counter gank by the Scion.
So an interesting buy from Yuumi. With how easy they can kind of get into the Jinx, she did go for that Dark Steel as well. So I don't think that's going to pay off.
They've had vision on Silas in the jungle. You see the pink ward near their blue buff. They saw him, and he was really low HP, and he's been toying around in the jungle at this entire time with very little HP. So I think we're going to see this Scion get another kill here.
And I think it's just...
Hopefully Rumble will get the return, so he doesn't die for nothing. Yeah, there's some action here. The Sejuani decided to show up, and gets the one kill on the Karthus. The Scion got taken out. Got a Xerath coming in as well. It was great. Great team play, some great rotations.
And this is a little
from
bit
the
of
Happy
what
Campers
we were talking about, trying to cut through the meatballs. They just don't have the damage. The Karthus going for that Tear of the Goddess just sets your power spike so far behind that you just cannot contest. So this Sejuani is starting to kind of help run away with the game. She's 2-0-3.
Yeah, she's very strong. So is the Xerath. Even though the Xerath's gotten caught a few times and he's about to get ganked again, he's still putting a lot of pressure down. He has 4 kills as compared to his opponent's 1.
Well, every time he kind of gets a few kills, he is losing, a lot of those stacks on the Darksteel. So he kind of needs to kind of...
Like a greased up pig in a mud pit, he gets away from the Rumble.
You were just waiting for a way to work that in.
I was waiting.
So, yeah. He really needs to kind of, play a little safer. He needs to work on getting a pink ward that bush above the blue side. Because that's where Rumble's walking through every time. He's walking right behind his blue buff, dropping the ultimate, and Karthus picking up the damage. Here we come.
Alright, we got some action top lane. You got the Silas getting locked up from the Sejuani and the Scion. Pretty easy pickup there, considering how far ahead the Sejuani is. Sejuani is level 8 in comparison to the Silas. I can't see the Silas's level right now. He's level 6, so he's got 2 level advantage on the Silas. They're going to pick up Rift Herald as well.
And despite the loss, despite the pressure that they have in the bot lane with the Yuumi poke, it's just not going to be enough to really contest, because the second Sejuani and Scion kind of get into the fight in their face, it's gonna be really hard for them to kind of press that win condition.
Yeah, this is not what they wanted. The win condition was their laners getting fed and being able to push it pressure without having to worry about how tanky the members are. But the opposite is happening. The tank is turning into a huge issue, and
now
we
were able to catch her out, so that is really good. With the dragon coming up here in another 15 seconds. Sorry, that's the blue center. With the dragon coming up in about 50 seconds, if they can kind of get that priority on bot side, maybe rotate the Rumble mid and just let the Karthus Silas kind of get pressure in the jungle. They'll be able to kind of secure an Ocean Drake, which will kind of help them stall it out a little bit. especially with the bot, with the bot lane having that amount of pressure. With the Yuumi being able to just kind of farm her or send out her abilities on cooldown, but we do
I was
have
not
Sion.
expecting this much pressure from the Jinx either. The Jinx has a 30 farm lead over the Caitlyn. I think that's going to play a huge role in how this game shapes up in the mid game.
Yep. And Sion, I think, is going to be backing off.
We have a fight down in bot lane. The Caitlyn got caught out by the Yuumi ulti and the Jinx traps. Caitlyn gets taken out by the Yuumi. It was a great play.
They're
just going to go to pressure turret.
Position there. I'm surprised he did not use the ultimate to just kind of force the engage. Rift Herald mid. Gonna get a few plates of gold here.
Sion's making a play mid. You see the Sion unstoppable onslaught mid. He didn't hit anything, but he was trying to help the Xerath out. Xerath got caught by 3 people, by the gank from the Rumble and the Sylas. That was a great gank too.
And they were able to get 3 plates off of that Rift Herald usage. So I would say that's definitely worth it from the Happy Camper side. Now Happy Campers just need to get this Jinx under control.
The Jinx currently has a 600 gold lead over the Caitlyn. That's going to play a huge role.
Ooh,
Oh, they just
flash.
That was a great ulti by the Sejuani. Just burned the Jinx flash.
And they use that pressure with Sejuani going after the Jinx there for that dragon. So that was really worth it. What I like seeing from both of these teams is while one thing is happening around the map, they're trying to make it work. They're trying to get the pressure, under control and in their favor. So
This Sion is a huge chonker right now. He's he's not taking much damage from the Rumble.
Yeah, and Rumble
putting a lot of
needs
pressure
that
down.
time. He's going, instead of doing kind of like the Mordekaiser build to where he gets.
Ooh, hold on, we have a
Hold on.
Sion teleporting bottom, trying to catch out the Rumble, and the Rumble just got caught out by the great Caitlyn trap and Mord Q combo. This is going to set up a 5-man roam towards the mid lane from the Happy Campers, putting the pressure on washed up one tricks with 5 people. I think they're going to bring them all up and try and pressure down this mid lane turret because they also have the Rift Herald, if I'm not mistaken.
No, they did.
They used the Rift Herald already. Yeah, you're correct.
And plating has worn off, so while they're losing a little bit of gold from the additional gold that they can get from that, they're not they got the first turret bonus. Now it's split between a lot of people. We got Jinx ult.
From downtown, and he missed.
Almost.
That was unexpected.
Very close. So they were at least able to trade a tower in bot lane. So that kind of helped stifle that play. But we went from washed up one tricks having a gold lead. Now it's a dead even game right now.
Yeah, the Karthus just used his ulti. He's going to push the Morgana out. Morgana has a whopping 50 HP here, so the Jinx and the Yuumi are going to push the 2nd tier turret bot lane. There's no contest here.
And they have
Sejuani's on the top side of the map. Sejuani's on the top side of the map, so the Sylas is just here to help the Jinx and Yuumi push this turret.
That Sylas has to get behind. Just force the dive. Sacrifice the mid lane Rumble dying.
Yep. Yep, Rumble just got caught out by the Sejuani. That's hard to get away from a Sejuani with 4 kills, now 5.
And one thing, washed up one tricks could do in that situation is try to take all that pressure that Rumble's absorbing and just get something from it. So you're actually gonna see it here.
It's like Morgana's gonna get caught into the Caitlyn, stunned by the Yuumi. That's a great play.
Flash.
So they're gonna get a 2nd tier turret here as the Sion and Xerath are pushing a 2nd tier mid. However, the Jinx and Sylas and Yuumi are going to push significantly faster than the Sion and the Xerath will. So we're gonna look to see some base trading here.
And with
I don't think the Sedge can do much about holding this.
And Rumble
this...
Rumble Karthus responds, so they're going to be able to kind of stop that. And they're going to get in a hit.
And the Sylas just took the Sejuani ulti, so they could just use that as a defensive mechanism against the team coming at them and potentially push an inhibitor. But they're going to back off. They're going to play it safe. And there's a ward in the middle lane, so they're going to see them backing off. as the Rumble and Karthus are putting some pressure down on the Xerath. You see the Equalizer come out mid, and the Scion comes mid to help the Xerath as he gets killed by the Rumble. And the Morgana hit a binding on the Karthus and got a pick there. The Karthus does not have his ulti because he used it already, so we're going to see a nice little fight here with a 3v3. Jinx picks up a kill. Jinx picks up a kill on the Scion. Scion chases him out with his Glory and Death. And you're going to see another... They're gonna continue fighting. The Wash Up One Tricks just had a nice advantage in that fight with the damage the Jinx is pushing out. In addition, with the stuns that the Yumi's able to put out with her ulti, with the final chapter.
Next 30 seconds, we have another red dragon coming up. So the Washed Up One Tricks really need to secure this to kind of put the icing on the cake here, just to get that additional scaling for the Jinx. One thing I would have liked to see in the last team fight, Karthus was able to get the Caitlyn while in the Undeath Pass.
Yes,
Or, sorry,
and
the Death
he
Divide,
is
so.
he even though he has died 5 times, he is putting out an insane amount of damage in these team fights because he's dying in the middle of the fight in the middle of 3 or 4 people.
And to help
so he's
that,
efficiently using his Death Defied.
I really want to see an early stopwatch to kind of help stem that, at least in one team fight, because all you need is that one team fight where you don't die in the first, 15 seconds or so.
All right, we have the Happy Campers pushing the pushing the Fire Drake for that extra damage. The Jinx used her Super Mega Death Rocket to get vision and saw that they had all 5 members down, so they're choosing to not contest that. The Rumble is putting some damage down on the Sejuani, hopefully pushing her out, but not yielding much in the results. The Jinx is pushing down this mid turret, and the Morgana and Caitlyn are pushing down the bot lane. So there's a 3v4 mid in the favor of Washed Up One Tricks.
And right now we're just
so we should expect to see a fight here.
We're just doing a tower trade. They have the advantage. Karthus is sitting in, there's no vision there, so they have no idea that they're there other than, maybe using their game sense here. So it's going to be scary to see if somebody walks into the bush. I really want to see the Happy Campers group up as 5. Because
here we go. Here's a pick on the Xerath from the bush of GG, as I like to call it.
The Fnatic Death Bush right there.
There was a dude potential of 5.
Dude potential of 5, yep. Oh, and here they go. They're baiting them in to check
There is still a dude potential of 5 because they do not have vision on anybody. So they're going to put some pressure down on the Kate. The Kate saw and trying to back away. The
Rumble ulted.
The Equalizer was used to potentially slow down the Caitlyn and put some pressure down there. The Jinx is putting some pressure down on the Caitlyn, uses her ulti, and successfully kills her. Forces the flash out in the process. They have all 5 members alive still. Don't forget Yumi's just on the back of the Jinx. Oh, nice catch on the Jinx. There comes the Yumi. Oh, that was a fantastic glacial prison from the Sejuani. They're gonna counter push this and potentially get an ace right here.
And they could take that to the Baron. They
nice
don't
catch.
have a lot of the front end damage, but they have enough with the. Ooh, that Morgana might be a little bit too low to kind of push this. If one person lived there, that would have definitely been the Baron. But with this, they can kind of reset the game. We are back to a 200 gold lead right now for the Washed Up One Trick. So every advantage that they're getting is just kind of going away once they let the Happy Campers group up. That team fight is scary. Once you get both the Sejuani and the Scion in there with all the lockdown, you just can't fight that. So they really need to, Washed Up One Tricks need to work on spreading out the map. They need to get somebody into the top lane. They need to get that bot lane pushed. Send your Rumble down bot lane with the teleport. They need to get that advantage of the map pressure that they had earlier.
I think this bears repeating that even though they are, they lost the early game, the Washed Up One Tricks are efficiently outputting damage with the Rumble ulti is going on to priority targets like the Caitlyn and the Xerath. And the The Karthus is just getting in the middle of 3 or 4 people and efficiently putting out some damage with his Death Defied. So I think that's gonna pay major dividends later on in the game.
And this Sejuani is scary. Here it comes. They're forcing,
here's another Glacial Prison onto the Jinx. The Jinx got out successfully.
Well
the Karthus picked off the Caitlyn, and the
Karthus.
Karthus dies. And here comes some good damage from the
Here's
Karthus
the ultimate.
with his Requiem. That's a lot of damage.
That is a really good
Got
play
the
for
Scion.
Not only can they just, they can definitely force the Baron off of that one. That's going to be a quick Baron.
That was some great peel from the Yuumi, and they caught the Jinx dead to rights, and they were able to peel her off. It's very, very, very well played. Looks like the Xerath is going to try and put some pressure down on the Baron to make it not happen, but he needs to make sure he doesn't get caught. The Rumble
is standing in a ward, so there he is. He got
The
caught.
Rumble uses his Proto Belt to kill the Xerath. They're going to take the Baron uncontested.
That Yuumi has to stick on the Silas and heal him. The percentage health there, this could cost them if Scion or not Scion. If Sedge goes near the pit, there's 3 low members, but she's gonna play it safe, so that's good. So where we are right now, they have to split up. Red side, Washed Up One Tricks need to pressure the map because they're getting these team fights. They got the objective. Now they just need to kind of seal the deal here. They need to close out the game before they can before the Happy Campers can kind of use a little bit of that double Fire Dragon and scale.
Yeah, and they're winning these fights quite handily, even though they have the 2 Fire Drakes. And it looks like this is the 4th Drake spawning is a Mountain Drake that they're going to take successfully. They have good vision surrounding it, so if the Washed Up One Tricks come and contest this, they'll be able to see it.
Yeah. And
they're just going to push out the lanes with their Baron buff. The Rumble is pushing top uncontested with the Baron buff. He has two waves of minions built up, so you're going to see quite a bit of damage down on this turret, and potentially a second turret pushed top.
And what I really like is I like the itemization coming from the Washed Up One Trick. They noticed that the Sejuani and the Scion are stacking that magic resist. So they went straight for the Void Staff, second item.
Yeah, it's very smart.
Really going to help them kind of punch through a lot of those defenses, and that's really kind of what's turning the tide here in these fights is the amount of penetration that they can have.
It's a lot of penetration there, Bucci boy.
All the penetration. That's what this game is about. Is just penetrating your enemy. Vladimir's not in this game, so.
All right, as I said, there's 2 minion waves pushing the top turret. They have to deal with that, as they have Baroned up minions pushing mid as well. Now the Silas is really low. However, he has a Sedge ulti stolen.
Now Rumble.
So we're gonna see something here.
They really need to split the map right now. They're kind of playing into the Happy Campers game of stalling them out because
Oh, there is a great catch on the Xerath. That was a lot of damage that came out real quick.
That Silas stealing the Sejuani ultimate, locking down the Xerath was perfect. That was very well done. And
Here comes a Karthus ulti.
So that's really good. Now they have pressure. They can take this turret. They still have to roam somebody behind, like down bottom. Get that inhibitor that's open.
They're gonna do that. They have a good 20 seconds, 15 seconds until the Xerath is up. They have 30 seconds for the Morg. So they're gonna push the mid They're gonna push the mid inhibitor here, potentially get a second one bottom, or even fight again. There's a great Morg. There's a great Morg binding into the Kate trap onto the Karthus. However, the Yuumi's doing a great job of sticking onto people, healing them, and giving them a great shield.
So with this
The bop and block, baby, bop and block.
So with this distribution, with the Rumble, Karthus having all that damage, and there they just caught out Xerath right there, just walking through.
Gives him the old 1-2, Floyd.
Oh, here's a good binding on the Jinx, but the peel is there.
Nice flash into the middle of 3 people by the Karthus. He was going to die, so he efficiently outputted that damage. They're going to get caught out here. Put a lot of damage on. Get 4 kills. Ooh, just barely live. Oh, he dies. The Silas was able to kill the Caitlyn.
Minion auto.
Stole the ace in the hole and gave him the boom headshot.
He gave him the
And they
what
get
for.
aced.
So this could have been avoided. We need to have the washed up one tricks utilizing that map pressure. You have a Rumble who can ult from almost an entire screen away. If if you utilize that Rumble while he has the Baron pit, you could you got to take that inhibitor before they are forcing a 5v5. You have teleport on the Rumble, send him top lane. Get pressure around the map, because you got aced. You got 2 inhibitors, but we could have had a lot more. That's what I want to see. And then I want to see them take this pressure, because Baron is going to be coming up in a minute and a half. So I want to see them get the vision. I want to see them send Rumble bot lane. I don't want to see him group up. I want to see him bot lane, and I want to see him using those super minions to pressure the Nexus.
So what can the Happy Campers do to win this game?
Keep forcing the washed up one tricks to group. You keep drawing them to you like a magnet. All 5 of you just march up mid lane. Get that pressure. Force them to come to you, because you have the team fight. You have the Sejuani with the completed items. She's got the Warmog, she's got the Gargoyle Stoneblade. She's going to get in the middle of 4 or 5 people and just become really hard to kill. All the bonus health is just going to take a lot of auto attacks from a fed Jinx to turn, to force that Sejuani out. So right now, the way you win this game is keep grouping up. Your Morgana has completed a Zhonya's. Your Redemption's come off cooldown, so your team fighting tools are coming up.
And the gold for both teams is very close. A 2k gold lead, 2.5k gold lead is negligible at this point in the game.
And that's one thing we've seen, with these two teams. They like to fight. The gold advantage has been really close the whole game. You'll see a little spike, and then it'll level out. A little spike, and then it'll level out. And that's from all the team fighting that we've had. So Baron's up. Everybody's kind of going near. So this next team fight is kind of going to decide the game. And
all right. Well, you have
no Zhonya's on the side of washed up one tricks.
You have a lot of posturing going on over at Baron. They're clearing the wards and trying to place their own wards. Oh, you have the Sylas flash
Good QSS
onto the Xerath with a great escape. They're grouped up in the jungle. I think the Sejuani's going to take advantage here. They catch out the Rumble. The Sejuani does a great dash onto the Rumble and knocks them out of the fight. The Jinx is now by herself. She has nobody on her except the really fed Sejuani, putting out a good amount of damage onto her. The Scion's trying to get onto her as well, but she's just putting too much pressure down. She just has way too much damage, so they have a good, clean fight.
Right now.
Is Jinx 1v3, just trying to do as much damage before she dies. So she's taking out some turrets here. She switched targets and sacrificed her life. She could have taken that one turret at the base, but she decided to try and run away instead and got caught auto-attacking some minions. The Scion and the Sejuani decided to just stomp on her face there.
So that's what we were talking about. They grouped up right in the middle of the blue side jungle, and they were just caught out by all of the AoE abilities that Sejuani, Scion, and Morgana can bring. We still don't have a Zhonya's on the side on that Karthus. we really need to see that so that he can become even more effective in the middle of these team fights. You have a lot of these champions that need to thrive on getting a pick. So you have the Sylas, who can use his ultimate to steal an ability from Sejuani, get that lockdown from stealing her ability, or you go to Scion, you get that unstoppable onslaught and just charge right into the middle of them. But you have to do it when you have the man advantage. You cannot do it when both Sejuani and Scion are there, and that's one great thing that Happy Campers are doing. They're stalling this game by grouping up. They're forcing washed up one tricks to play their game.
All right, you have washed up one trick trying to put some pressure down on the Baron. You got a nice Morg binding land on the Karthus. They're going to try and take him out of the fight, so he gets picked off really early. You got the Sejuani putting her Glacial Prison down on the Sylas, trying to take him out of the fight. You have the Yuumi trying to protect the Jinx from the great big old meatballs coming off the spaghetti from the Scion. Rumble on the backline taking out the Caitlyn. You got a lot of damage being pushed out by the Jinx, trying to take out the Sion. The Sion's out of the fight, going to take out the Sylas. So all around a pretty even fight, I think.
This
No,
Yumi
there's
is just saving lives.
yes,
You know,
yes, she
she
is.
kept the Silas alive for as long as possible, and then just jump ship to the Jinx to try to help turn that fight. So, you know, right now, you know, they're looks like they're going for the dragon, which is not a bad call. Kind of get a little bit of the regen, but you know, it's not the objective that they're wanting. You know,
If Karthus got taken out of the fight really early with a very, very well placed Sejuani ulti. So if he didn't get taken out that early, I think the fight would have gone the other way because the members were really low.
And I feel like a lot of the kills right now on Happy Campers is kind of held. They are kind of held by the Sejuani. I want to see a little bit more gold sharing. You know, the Morgana getting the 20 assists, that's great income for her. But right now, this Kate is lackluster. Where, you know, that Jinx is kind of starting to turn online.
That Jinx is putting out some insane damage.
She's got 2.5 completed items. You know, she has the QSS to get away from the Sejuani ultimate. And that last Whisper that she completed now is gonna really pack a punch.
So I think a good win condition for the washed up one tricks would be instead of trying to pick off the back line of the 9 and 10 Xerath and the 4 and 9 Caitlyn would be to help peel the Jinx, but she's just putting out some insane damage of this fight.
And at this point, they really can't because they need Silas and Rumble just going into the backline
You
to
think so?
keep the Caitlyn busy. Yeah, because Caitlyn does have. She actually just completed her Bloodthirster, so she has 3 items. So
All right, you have a grouping trying to push the inhibitor, and they're going to get caught out by a very well placed Sejuani ulti, and they're just getting taken out.
There it is.
Karthus is taken out. The Rumble is killed pretty quickly, and you get the Yuumi. Because the Jinx died, the Yuumi gets taken out.
Yep,
And the Silas is the only one that escapes with his life.
That's what we were talking about. They keep grouping up and just letting Happy Campers kind of get these engages on them by forcing the push down mid. They, you know, this is going to be a tougher game for washed up one tricks to win if they're just kind of running into that team comp, because that the Sejuani and the Sion really excel when you're just walking into them, because
there are almost 70 kills in this game. We have some blood and thunder on our hands. This is a fun game to watch.
And we have a lot of objectives too. You know, we have a total of 5 dragons taken, most of which by the Happy Campers. They're gonna pick up this Baron here unless they get a good steal. They got to teleport in.
Oh, Silas went in to try and steal it, but the Rumble came in with a great ulti. Melted that Caitlyn. She just disappeared from the map. Gets caught out by the Sejuani. And he is going to get taken out, the Sejuani Glacial Prison. And the Jinx is going to join the fight along with the Karthus and the Yuumi.
Here we go. Can she win it off this? Ooh,
oh, the Jinx gets caught up. Oh, he's about to die. Oh, and he gets taken out by the Morq, the Jinx. Rest in peace.
Oh, get on your Nikes, Karthus. You got to get out. Run! But there's no running against this. With this kill,
Karthus gets taken out, the Yuumi gets taken out, and the Karthus is going to do everything he can to do some damage before they push. We got a
10 seconds.
Got a stopwatch from the Xerath. They're going to push down the mid. They have plenty of time to push.
If they play this right, they can take a Nexus turret or 2. You still have 40 seconds on Karthus. You know,
Rumble,
20 seconds on Jinx. That's the really heavy hitter there. Is the
Rumble
Jinx.
is up, uses his equalizer to clear all these minions, so that's the saving grace right here.
There we go. Good ultimate good equalizer from the Rumble. Really
oh, that Sedge ulti was stolen. The Karthus, or the Morgana used the stopwatch and allowed the Silas to steal the Sedge ulti. And it looks like the Rumble's going to get tossed back, or he's going to use his Proto Belt into the 3 people to try and take out the Xerath. The Xerath lives. They call him Sticky Ricky.
Sticky Ricky.
Slicky Ricky.
Slicky Ricky.
They call him Slicky Ricky. He escapes from all that stuff.
And this is where the game gets really hard to come back from, because they have the Baron buff still. You know, Sejuani is really pushing that advantage. She's spreading the map by going bot lane for those minions. You know, you draw the Jinx, you get those supers running down mid. Now you just need to play, you know, split up your team, You need to send, you know, Scion top lane. Just let him push. He has teleport. Use the map pressure that we wanted to see from the Washed Up One tricks. We got Elder Dragon spawning here in 40 seconds. That's gonna be the next big fight. And completed items, you know, we're looking at Morellonomicon completed now, as well as an Abyssal Mask for the Karthus. So in the middle of these fights, you know, if you're close to him, you're taking a lot of damage. But there's still no Zonias, you know. At this point, he needs to sell those control wards. He has the gold here in just a few minutes to get a stopwatch. That's kind of what's holding them back from, you know, pulling out a little more in these team fights, is just the Karthus is dying way too quick. So here's the setup. You know, you got the Karthus ultimate, just kind of trying to zone some people out, get some poke down. You know, there's only one Ocean Drake taken, and here's the fight.
All right, you have the Yuumi. That's basically the only one left trying to peel for the Jinx. Jinx is putting some good damage onto the rest of the team. The Sylas gets taken out by the Xerath here. The Yuumi and the Jinx are the only ones left. That team fight looked like it was over before it even started. They're just going to pressure down these lanes and try and win the game. The Jinx cannot do anything versus the Scion and Sejuani. I mean, the Xerath and the Morgana, not to discount how strong they are, but the Scion and the Sejuani are just so strong you can't do anything about it.
And that's something we might look at needing to be banned next game. So,
yeah, and I said that earlier. I think it was a misban on the junglers because they banned the Nidalee and the Lee Sin. They probably should have banned the Vi and the Sejuani away from this jungler.
Yep.
It was very, very comfortable on this pick, and it's a very good. They have a very good team comp built around those two picks.
Yeah, and
the
and
Scion
if they banned,
and
you know, if they instead targeted the Sejuani, you know, that would have taken a power pick out. But you know, they're not giving up yet, so that's a good sign. You know, Elder Dragon is up. If they take that, you know, they could still get a really good.
Oh yeah, they're gonna pick off the Xerath here. The counter push is gonna happen. Oh, the nice Morg binding on the Jinx is gonna stop that push. That's a great binding. With the QSS down.
You know, Jinx can just solo the dragon. All they have to do is just get, you know, vision for her. Elder Dragon is really easy to take solo once you get like 2 or 3 items. So they're just gonna bring this down real quick, and you see if Jinx can steal it over the wall.
I would have liked to see the Happy Campers pushed another and hid there, as opposed to just pushing it down mid, because they keep getting caught out trying to push with an odd number of people, with 4 people going up the mid lane, and it's just, it would be nice to have that pressure from the other lanes building up from the super minions. And now they have a Elder Drake to contend against for the next team fight.
And this,
with a
this
really
Elder
strong
Dragon
Jinx
is going to be very pivotal for this next fight, because Baron's up in 40 seconds. You know, they only have a mid inhib down, so they can real easily push that up as long as none of their team members get caught. But you know, we see Happy Campers are now going toward that Karthus top. Here it is.
All right, Karthus is getting picked by the Sejuani.
He is not going to live there, so.
Didn't have to use the Glacial Prism, so she still has her ulti going up, going in this next fight. The Karthus gets picked, uses his Requiem, does not yield much damage on the rest of the team. So I think this is going to be a pretty free Baron here for
and
the
that
Happy
was a
Campers.
slight misstep from the Karthus. You know, he was in that top lane trying to get a little bit of farm, but you know, if you guys have Elder Dragon at this point, this is where you need to group up.
Alright, is he going to try and steal that? No, he is not going to try and steal that. They're going to give over the Drake and try and fight and defend. But you can utilize that
Elder Dragon buff like you are. You know, just keep getting him down. So Baron secured by the Happy Campers. You know, we'll see if we can get this final push in here. I really want to see that Scion bot lane. You know, I want to see this pressure. You know, they have the Baron buff. They have the teleport. You know, you can go back, buy an item if you really need to. He's got 1,400 gold, but right now, you know, Washed Up One Tricks are trying to set up the flank, but they're not able to kind of close the trap on him.
Okay, so the mid inhibitor is now up for the washed up one trick, so I think we're going to see a lot of posturing around mid lane. Oh, the Silas steals the Sejuani Glacial Prison and catches off the Zerath.
Big catch.
There's a great catch, and they're gonna the Sejuani is gonna return the favor in Karthus. Karthus is in the middle of 3 people going to output a bunch of damage, and the Silas gets picked off. The Scion also gets picked off. The Rumble's about to get picked off, and there's not much left. It's just the Jinx left against four really big people. Ooh, that was a lot of damage that was output from the Karthus. Or from the Zerath, sorry.
They threw everything at them, so they
that kitchen sink. Oh, the knight flash over the wall into the Jinx, and that's GG.
That's GG. Good games, well played all around. It was a very exciting game. You know, we had 87 kills in 43 minutes. I don't think we could have asked for a better game here.
Nope.
So next game, what I really want to see in that first round draft pick for the washed up one tricks, either ban the Sedge or first picker, because you cannot let them build that same team comp around them. So we'll get back into it here in a little while. I think we're going to be setting up for an intermission. But yeah, one thing I definitely want to see is either a ban or a first pick of that Sejuani for the washed up one tricks, because right now Sejuani kind of is taking advantage of the jungle. So we need to see, you know, what washed up one tricks can do with the information that they got. They know that you know, Trillionaire is not going in the jungle. So maybe save a few bans here.
And it looks like the Karthus had the highest amount of outputted damage to champions with almost 50k at 48,700 damage to champions. So again, even though he was getting picked, he was outputting a ton of damage with all of his AoE.
And a lot of that damage is inflated because every time you ultimate,
yes,
you ult with 5 people up, you know, that's going to be, you know, almost, you know, an easy 1,000 damage a person, except for on the Sejuani and Scion who are stacking that magic root. So a lot of that is inflated. It's just a lot of the small positioning mistakes that I want to see them kind of take, and I want to see them turn it around for this game too. You know, if they can get the Karthus with the early stopwatch, you know, take the mastery, get the early stopwatch so you don't have to invest gold into it, is even better. But an early Zhonya's is going to have a pivotal role in turning those team fights, because you create a zone that just, you know, the enemy team can't walk near. And it's even larger if he's able to land a few of those Qs like he was. You know, he was getting a lot of damage from the Qs. And, you know, he was keeping that Caitlyn kind of zoned out in a few of those fights by getting those good picks. But, you know, Happy Campers just had the run at you team comp and was just kind of mowing them down. So I'm excited to see kind of adjustments, big adjustments I want to see from washed up one tricks. From the Happy Campers, I want to see them kind of continue to utilize that really strong top lane that they had. You know, the Scion pick worked really well into the Rumble. Maybe not at first, but with so much chaos going on in the beginning, you know, it had a really good setup with the Scion just being able to get through the laning phase without getting, you know, losing too much. He wasn't down. You know, usually when you play tank against someone that, you know, like any sort of carry, you want to have that tank really down. You know, you want to kind of pummel them into the dirt and push them out of the way and just take control of that lane, take a lot of plates. So we didn't see a lot of that from the Rumble.
And as you mentioned really early, the Yuumi was not a contested pick per se, but a strong pick for their support. And that Yuumi was the saving grace and why it took them so long to build up, and why it took the Happy Campers so long to build up and win that game.
Yep. So now from the Happy Camper side, you know, with them going to red, you know, it's going to open up a lot of comfort picks because, you know, there is only one ban. So it's going to be extremely important for them to kind of take advantage of those open bans and get those comfort picks that they got. If Sejuani is open, you are going to have to lock that in early. But you got to build a team comp around her just like you did. You know, if you want to go for the aggressive lanes, you can still do that. The Caitlyn Morgana worked really well, I don't feel like it needs to be first pick because you can take something into that. You can take something into that the Jink. You can even give them the Caitlyn Morgana if they play it and take Yumi Jinx for yourself if you feel like that was a really strong position that you want. But from Happy Campers, I want to see them utilize all of these open bans. So we'll see what happens here once we get the we got everybody in the lobby. So we're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna see what we can do for the draft here. See if we can get it started up. So I think I have the link here.
Do you want to go to a couple of minutes intermission so you don't have to do a pro draft, or do you just want to go straight into it?
I mean, I'm okay. I'm
All
okay.
right.
If all players are ready, we can do a quick ready check. Looks like we're getting ready to go into it. So, I got my bottle of water here. I'm ready to go.
Make sure Mr. Sunshine is ready to go. Sunshine.
Sunshine.
All right, Sunshine is ready.
All right, and same thing this game. Happy Campers have to sacrifice the first 3 bans. Washed Up One Tricks have to sacrifice the first 2 bans. So it's a lot of comfort for both teams that's open and available. If you want to take a pick from an enemy team, you have that ability. So we're gonna kind of see what comes down here. So we got to go through the first few bans. And I liked the Karthus pick, for that team composition that they had. I just wanted to see a little more itemization toward the defense.
Yes.
The Archangel staff is fine, but you don't hit that break point until 10, 15 minutes in. Once you convert that tier, build that tier all the way up. So I really wanted to see while you're stacking the tiers, start building toward a Zonian.
And just a reminder, just like last game, the Happy Campers get the single ban in the first round.
No, the Washed Up One.
The Washed Up One Tricks get 1 ban, and the Happy Campers get 3 taken away.
Yeah, and this happened. The substitutes that we have in for on the Happy Camper side is 2 divisions higher, so that's where those
right.
bans come in, or that ban loss comes in, and then the Washed Up One Tricks have a sub in there that they have the Mokoichi, the jungler who is playing right now, is 1 division higher, so that's where the ban losses come in. All right, so here we go. We just got to wait for this to time out. 20 seconds, and then we're going to see what Washed Up One Tricks wants to ban. I'm really in favor of taking away one of the tank picks.
Yes, the Sejuani and the Scion really made a difference in that game. My opinion would strongly go towards banning out that Sejuani and forcing them onto a different jungler.
Force them onto something
that really was the difference maker.
Yeah,
from the level 1 fight towards the end.
Up. Yeah, they had a really good composition that was set up to front, just to kind of burst and control zones with the Rumble Ultimate and Karthus. It's just they didn't have the room to do it because make him pick a different tank jungler. That's what I want to see. So we do have a Xerath ban, which it was a pretty strong performer, but we'll see how that has an impact over the draft. The Happy Campers had a really good team comp that it fell behind a little bit early. So that's why, Washed Up had so much control over that bottom half of the jungle, because the Jinx Yumi just absolutely, controlled that lane.
Yeah, and it was just a ticking time bomb, because once the Sejuani and Scion got built up to where they couldn't die, it was not much they can do about it because they didn't build up quick enough.
Yeah, and one thing I want to see in this game from Washed Up, I want to see an early ward in the red side jungle, just to try to track where the jungler is pathing toward, where they are prioritizing. Because if you have that information, that helps you set up the first 5 minutes or so of where where your jungler wants
Yeah,
to
you
pressure.
you can make very safe assumptions based on just that single ward
Yeah,
on
so
where
here
the jungler's going to be.
we're kind of mimicking a little bit of last game with the Yumi on the washed up side with the Sejuani coming in. You know, now that you have this information, I'm wondering if the jungler from washed up one tricks can play Trundle, because the best thing into a Sejuani is just a Trundle that just steals all of your stats. Correct. No bans. So they had substitutes come in. So washed up One Tricks has to lose 2 bans, and Happy Campers has to lose 2. So here we go. We got the Caitlyn again for the No Way It's Teemo. So we'll see how he hopefully he fares a little bit better in this lane. But we right now looks like we're running it back almost. The only change right now that we're gonna have is the Xerath, guaranteed.
So what would you like to see picked into the Karthus?
Honestly, into the Karthus, they controlled him very well with the Xerath, so anything like that, like Orianna, would be really good in the middle of a team fight, because that's what they're working with. They're working with a team fight composition.
Yeah, and it looks like Gelati, I think that's how you say his name, Gelati. It looks like he plays a lot of Orianna too, a good amount.
Yeah. But right now,
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong person.
Demonic,
Demonic is
I'm
who you need to
still
look at.
okay, with any sort of control mage mid. If he picks up the
Yeah.
Orianna, or if he picks up maybe an Azir.
It looks like Demonic is the mid player over on the Happy Campers. He
Correct.
plays a lot of Twisted Fate and Echo.
Yep. So if you can pick an Echo, but the only problem with that is if
Echo's going to get pushed out from the Karthus. You can't really
Exactly.
get into him without taking an insane amount of damage.
Exactly. So you got to pick something ranged that can trade a little bit. Maybe even an Ari would be okay with just the mobility in the middle of a team fight. So we're seeing a lot of bans targeted toward the top lane. So I can tell he really didn't enjoy how the Scion kind of got through lane. So I'm okay with them calling out that ban. You got the
Yes.
carry bans. The Jinx was definitely kind of a platform for that bot lane to really stand on.
And without that Scion, the Rumble can really pressure that top lane.
Yes.
That was why he wasn't able. It's not. He did make a lot of plays. He pushed his lane out and ganked mid a whole bunch of times, and that's why the Xerath died so much. But without the Scion there, he'd be able to just willy-nilly push that turret in.
Yeah, and there's a Poppy pick, so that's really strong into into the mid game, where you get a lot of that tank stats from her stand fast, and she gets just they're sticking with what they won with last game. They have 2 frontline champions. They have the back line with the Caitlyn Morgana, and they're gonna turn it into hopefully they have a really good. They kind of seal up the deal with a really good mid laner. So there's what I like to see, the adjustment. The Sejuani kind of ran the ground from game 1. So the Trundle pick, if the Sejuani kind of goes in and Trundle ultimates, uses his ultimate ability on her before her passive drops off. When your passive drops off a Sejuani after a Trundle ultimates you actually go negative into the resistances. So you get really squishy really fast. So it's going to be interesting to see kind of the adjustment. We got a Jhin here lock in. Honestly, that's one of my most favorite ADCs, just to see bot lane, just because I love to randomly scream 4. So nothing wrong with that. Just maybe play with with push to talk instead of just an activated mic. So all right.
Now, a question I have for you, that's kind of funny, is I don't see Mikoichi playing any Trundle in the past 4 seasons. So is he listening to you and making great picks based on your advice? Or is
we'll
that
see.
something that they managed to do?
We'll have to see. Hopefully they're not listening to me, or if they are, it turns out to be great advice. But
it's definitely a great pick. I can say that with 100% confidence that it's a great pick into the Sejuani. I'm just kind of making fun.
Yeah, and like I said, the adjustments. This is when we kind of get closer to playoffs, this is kind of what's going to be able to take you through those rounds, is the adjustments after the games, because you can lose game 1, in a best of 3 or a best of 5, as long as your adjustments carry you through to the rest of the games. We just
Gotta
need
make
to
them
see how-
adjustments, bro. Gotta make them
Make them
adjustments.
Gotta make them adjustments. Let's go. So we'll see how it carries them. We'll see where the Trundle prioritizes, because Trundle can have a really good level 2 gank if you want to prioritize the pillar. Because with that pillar, there's just no getting away from it without a flash. So I want to see how this goes. And one thing that that washed up One Tricks has the advantage of, if the jungler that they normally play with practices kind of Karthus jungle, they can utilize that in the future for getting a really strong flex pick. So, but like I said,